Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, a space where the thoughts are just as Fuck.
Anything.
Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, a space where everything is on the table and the thoughts are just as frenetic as your Twitter feed. And just like your feed, we kick it off with some talks on some bullshit of the day, and eventually bring you some value with well-cited research on stories you may have missed.
Yeah, this show is the long-term format of marching into madness. A duo of journalists that are developing a content project about their passions. So, get ready for that.
Yeah.
Some weeks our strange wine mom drops by to keep us in line, but she's been missing for a little bit, so we don't know what's going on with that.
But
The line, please. But she recently went out for milk and a pack of bogeys, but at least that's what she told us, so we assume she's going to be back anytime now.
Oh, and socials? Socials, we're on all of them. TikTok, IG, YouTube, and Twitch, where we live stream these podcasts on a weekly basis. If you tune in, you can ride out with us afterwards.
Speaking of which, the future variant of this idiot will introduce us in 3, 2, 1. And then you just bring up the...
What's up, internets? Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast with a name that we can't say anymore. This week, Raza wanted to help me introduce some new formats that we have. Yay, Raza. Yay. But he also wanted to do the Halloween themes at the same time. So, Raza, can you give him a taste of what we're bringing today?
We're bringing you spooky movies and spookiness. We're talking about the movies that make you not sleep at night. We're talking about all that. We're talking about the first time you wet your bed because you saw The Exorcist, and that changed your whole perspective on the world. That's what we're talking about, right, Bayley?
Yeah. And then we've added some news segments where we're gonna apply our journalism a little bit.
Okay.
No, that's okay. I'm building. We're building.
Okay. All right.
And so I'm going to bring you some up-to-date news on a boiling event, and Raza's going to update you on some video games. We're going to be mixing it up every week, more to our personal interests, but this way we're also getting clippable TikTok content, so, we can be modern and hip with the kids. But First off, we want to give you the traditional good old podcast. This is all about us and hanging out and still getting to know us, so Raza wanted to talk about spooky movies and ask if y'all like them and see his horrible opinions on them. You seem like a hocus pocus man's right off bat.
Me? Yes. You wouldn't be wrong. You would not be wrong. I love me some hocus pocus, even though I haven't seen it yet. Planning on to see it, but it's my favorite movie of all time. I live and breathe that movie. Is Sarah Jessica Parker in that one? Yeah.
Sarah, I think so. I think you're correct. I'm
a Sarah Jessica Parker stan, so.
Would you declare yourself a Halloween memorabilia aficionado? Like, have you watched a lot of it?
No, not at all. Not in the slightest. And I'm okay with admitting that. There are people that are better than me, and the bar is lower, very low to the ground where they can outclass me. But I appreciate the genre. Over the last, 10 years, I'm actually a newbie to the whole genre. I used to be afraid of that shit. And then I saw, what movie did I see for the first time, in 2010? Saw. I saw Saw, the first Saw, and I was like, okay.
Is that is that a Halloween movie?
It's not a Halloween movie, but it's like a horror movie, so I just assume any horror movie is good during Halloween. It doesn't have to come out.
That's a broad jump. Then I can give you plenty of Halloween horror movie stories, but you have to get
about.
Like Poltergeist scary is more on point. You know what I mean? The Ring. That's a scary, applicable Halloween movie.
Scary movie. There we go.
But it has to be a certain type of scary movie. You can't just put any horror movie into a Halloween movie talk. You know what I'm saying?
What about Halloween? I
Halloween.
saw Halloween, the last one.
I think that
Like not
counts.
Halloween. Like I think it came out. The last one even came out around the same time. It was okay. Now I see why people don't like that stuff anymore because it's like there's like too much of that. Because the last Halloween movie didn't do that good, and apparently this one isn't good either.
Because the taste in like B class horror stuff is like a film thing, you know? People
Yeah.
want realism now. They want to be scared of real things or a scenario where you lose one thing but it's very like Squid Gamesy. It's like you could picture yourself in it very easily,
Oh, true.
you know?
I feel yeah. I see your point. I see your point. Like that's why I don't know. That's why like I like supernatural type of horror.
Oh, I thought you meant the TV show.
Oh God, no! God, no! I used to troll people who used to watch Supernatural. I was just like, okay, original, but no, like the supernatural like genre of movies, like Conjuring, Insidious, all that, right? I like
Yeah.
that shit. Like when, like to me, like the gory ones don't really do it for. I mean, I'm squeamish too. I'll admit that I hate blood. So like horror, like gory
Oh,
horror
damn, eh?
movies, I can't do that.
I hate jump scares. I'm a
Okay,
little wuss. I'm
all
okay.
right.
I can watch people get chopped up for days. No problem. Give me a saw. Let someone get frozen and shattered to pieces. Easy,
You
easy.
serial killer
But
vibes
bro,
morning.
I don't want to be scared. That's like if I'm getting jump scared, like bro, I need to be able to handle that in real life. That like being
Right,
jumpy, that's like a
right.
defense mechanism. I need to be on my toesy woesies, right? I
Told
don't
you.
want to have I get too spooked by the modern jump scares, and I don't like that shit in any capacity. So it turns me off
So
of a
do
lot
you
of generic horror.
do you like horror like gory movies because there's no like suspense there? It's all like happening. Like and you can see it happening where the jump scare you don't know if when it's gonna happen. Do you like not anticipating shit or do you like just what do you just want to see it coming from a mile away?
What is this therapy?
Yeah.
I think I like to I enjoy the plot and the suspense and the horror created through the scenario and the suspense, but
Hmm.
I don't like the cheap thrill of like here's a cheap one, you know? Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm spooked and now I'm just not fun spooked. Like I'm
Right,
not
right.
having fun now. I want to be like worried that I'm like a bad guy and Saw is gonna come and find me. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like
Um,
feeling like, oh no, Freddy's gonna pop up in my nightmares. That's, you know.
so okay. All right, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But that's sort of like that's so interesting because like a lot of people I've spoken to are like, oh, they prefer the jump scare rather than
Mm-mm.
feeling comfortable the entire time. Because like yeah, because like to me, I don't like I like watching like watching a horror movie and be like, okay, I feel the tenseness, but like if I'm watching something like Saw, I'm just like I'm I I'm uncomfortable. I can't sit right now. I'm fucking moving. I'm going off the chains right now because there's so much happening and it's like a relentless too. Right? It's just it doesn't
True.
stop. It keeps on going.
Yeah.
It keeps on going. At least with jump scare movies, there's like that break where you can get your shit where you put where it allows you to go change your pants and then come back, right? Whereas
Hmm.
these ones that you like you're buckled in for an hour and a
Yeah.
half. It's a
Yeah.
fucking roller coaster, and you're not having a good time no matter what, right? You are gonna be uncomfortable from start to finish, regardless of the ending. And that's why, like, I'm just like, because I hate watching. Yeah, I don't. You're a fucking monster then. If
Because
you like
I
watching it.
feel more psychologically comfortable dealing with a scenario like, how can I deal with this? Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then
Mm-hmm.
if I'm just being spooked by some Jeepers Creepers fucking What I Did Last Summer ass
Yeah.
villain. It's like I don't want to be spooked that way. It's
I see what
uncomfortable
you're
and it's
saying. I see what you're saying.
unrealistic. I
So
can rather
you
deal with the psychological situation.
so while you're watching Saw, you're just like, how can I escape this puzzle?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. If I was in
oh,
this
oh,
situation, I'm gonna fucking
okay.
get out of this horror show. You know what I mean?
Okay. Right. But for some reason, a ghost is like, oh, you're actually scary. So
Hmm.
yeah, okay, all right. I get it. I get it. Like I don't I don't like watching like what you said. Like I know what you did last summer. I hate that like unsettlingness of like a lone serial killer. Like Scream is a weird exception because I don't mind Scream movies, but like yeah, like the movies in that genre, I'm just like they're either not good or they're too over the top. They're like no extremes or they're all extremes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I do, and it makes it as someone who edits. I don't want to. I'm not some filmmaker, but as someone who edits, it becomes like less spooky when I can like predict the patterns of what's
Yeah.
gonna come. So
That's what
those
like
type of shows kind
mhm,
of bug me a little bit. I get a little
right.
bored.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Especially like when you go to like towards like a teen horror like catered horror movies like the remake of I saw the remake of House of Wax with Paris Hilton a couple days ago.
Wow. Yeah, it's a good
I saw
callback.
that. Yeah.
I did see that
It's
back in the
not
day.
good. It's not good. It's fucking like it's predictable, especially
Yeah.
even if you don't watch those movies, you know everybody dies and stuff. But the one movie that like stays true with me in that sort of genre, I guess, sort of. I don't know. You guys and everybody else can correct me on this because I'm not well in tune with this. But like the newest Evil Dead, I think that's like in its that movie was pretty well done. It was kind of unpredictable. Um, I liked how and the whole art style of the or the whole direction of that movie was like really good, and it stood on its own 2 feet and was able to be for like a teen audience too. They were like, okay, this is good for a teen centered movie, right? So I think those movies are rare, and then you have Cabin in the Woods where it has a twist and ending,
Yeah, see,
which
like, I'll watch something like Last House on the Left. You know what I mean? I think that's
really
a good middle ground.
it's got a new respect for you.
You know what I mean? That's
I
a
like
good
Last
Aaron
Supper.
Paul back in the day. OG Aaron
Well,
Paul.
back in the day, yeah, when
OG.
when he wasn't going cray cray.
Yeah. Wasn't the star of Fast and the Furious going downhill?
Yeah, Need for Speed.
Um, oh, shit. Yeah, my bad. I knew that
Yeah,
too. That I don't
listen,
mind that small combination. I can take a little bit of thriller in there. But does that mean we're going as far as like 28 Days Later or like Rob Zombie films? You know what I mean? Like House of a Thousand Corpses type shit.
I don't see. I haven't seen those movies. Well, I've seen 28 Days Later, but I haven't seen many Rob Zombie movies to like really really
Your
be like, okay,
pessimistic ass. If you could put on your film nerd lens, you may enjoy
yeah,
it. But your attitudey ass Twitter self, Jake, your Twitter self, gonna
yeah.
go nuts. You're not gonna be able
I
to handle
mean,
it. You wouldn't be able to
I
handle
mean,
it.
that's that comes from me hanging out with you. I think if I wasn't your friend, I would be able to watch that movie. But no, I do want to watch Rob Zombie movies, but like I think I would prefer watching them with somebody, like Hereditary. I watched the movie with somebody. I'm like not I know Rob Zombie movies are actually like over the top. That's all from what I gather. And from
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
I would prefer watching it with somebody who's a little bit more ballsier than I am. And they could be like, Raza, it's okay. It's a movie. It's a movie. I'm just like, do you see this shit? That's what I was doing for Hereditary. I was like, do you see the, the, the shit? Right? So, like, I think I would appreciate Rob Zombie because I've seen one Rob
Hmm.
Zombie horror movie before. I think it's the Hills Have Eyes.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
I
pretty
think it's
good.
him.
Is it his? Yeah, The
We
Hills
might be wrong
Have
there.
Eyes.
That should be. I might have to do a fact check there, but we'll see.
Yeah, The Hills Have Eyes was pretty good for what it was. Uh, and then like with Jeepers Creepers, all that, I thought they were. I wouldn't. I don't, do you think they're in the same like realm or? I don't know. I'm
I
not
wouldn't
that.
say so, just because there's like a little bit more of an artistic style and theme to those, rather than just being like a Jeepers Creepers is much closer to a teen thriller, like you were talking about before, than
Right.
like
Okay.
a
Okay.
Rob
Okay.
Zombie film, or like even you're referring to The Hills Have Eyes is like, I know there's teens in it, but it's more dynamic characters. I think it's
Yeah.
just centered
Yeah.
around teens. You know what I mean?
It's more it's more and I wouldn't call that movie scary. I'll call it a thriller because it's over the top. It isn't. It's there's a lot of shit. It hits you 0 to 60 in like no time, right?
Hmm.
That's what I like about that movie. But like I can't tell you if I like Rob Zombie or not because I I would be basing my opinion off of one movie, and I don't think that that's fair for me
That's okay. Fair
to
enough.
yeah.
I see where you're coming from there. So then what I want to check in on is, when we're talking about these horror movies and your opinions on them, did
Hmm.
the spooky season, the Halloween season, did it help you get into that genre as a whole,
Yeah,
or like get
yeah.
interested in it? Yeah.
Actually, yeah, because like I've seen every see every holiday or every Halloween, every holiday. Yeah, during Christmas, I'm watching horror movies. But every Halloween, I'm like actually going out of my way to watch scary movies, and I'm like expanding my because like I do like the ghost type shit, Conjuring, Insidious. What's the other one? There's another one in that like the whole like franchise
I
shit.
think.
I also
Oh, yeah, those ones. Yeah, the genres where they stole the story about the two ghost hunters and got sued for it.
yeah,
Okay.
Conjuring. I don't like the spin-offs like Annabelle and the Nun. I'm just like you don't need to
Nah.
do that. Isn't yeah.
Nah.
But like the base stuff like the Insidious 1, 2, and 3. Not the third one. The third one wasn't that good, but the of Insidious. But the Conjuring 1 and 2 were pretty good. Those were things I liked, but like when it gets like gory, as I said, I'm just like, yeah, that ain't. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna fucking die. And here you are, like, I want that. I fucking want that. I want to fucking be uncomfortable
I'm not
the
gonna watch
entire time.
like. I don't want to and don't watch movies like The Human Centipede, though. You know what I mean? I have a
Okay,
line.
yeah,
I'll watch a gory movie, but not
I haven't seen it either. Yeah,
excessive gore. I'll watch, Predator 2 is a fucking gory movie. Shit like that, easy, no
is
problem.
it horror though?
It's supposed to be, but it's mad campy.
No, I was laughing the entire time watching that.
I know. I know. It's a little
It's
bit of
very
an
campy.
embarrassment to the original.
A little bit, yeah.
I always thought it was such a weird comeback, Predator 2, of like, why did you take this leap? You had a perfectly good formula.
And they go to L.A.
I
What?
know.
They go to L.A.
It's like they
Thank
saw
God the new
Escape from
one
New York
opened.
and tried to
Oh,
copy it. Sorry.
yeah, the Escape from New York was actually pretty good. Low key.
That's such a camp movie, but it's so fun. I love his audio editing. His music is very
Mhm.
enjoyable. Very
Like, and I did
problematic,
like.
though, nowadays.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, which '80s movie isn't problematic?
Um,
Star Wars.
yeah, Kissing Sisters.
Okay.
All right, so kids, next section. What we got for you? If you're live, the chat's going off. If you're tuning into this audio version, if you watch us live on Mondays, you get to see this podcast before everyone else, as well as hang out with our wonderful homies. Next up, we got a commercial break where we're actually advertising our own YouTube video,
Yeah.
because one
We're
day
not
we're going to
shows.
slap real ads in here, but for now, it's our ads.
Yeah.
Yay!
As you mentioned before, this guy ruined my whole flow. We're doing essays now on what
You guessed it, K-pop music. If you don't know what K-pop music is, well, fuck you. We're gonna tell you right now. K-pop music is Korean pop music from, you guessed it, Korea. Congratulations, you're a cultured person now. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Yeah, and what better way to educate you on this topic of Korean culture than two North American straight dudes who know nothing about musicals?
And together, we grow. We learn and we grow as a family. Together.
That's why we march into men.
That's why we're fast and furious. We're family.
Family, 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 family.
And without further ado, inject these nuts, Bailey. There you go.
The only ads we don't want to block. Welcome to our new news segment. What we're doing here, guys, is we want to break down pieces that me and Raza find interesting and bring valuable sources to it, as well as just like some topical information. This is where we're going to chop it out and throw it on TikTok. So if you listen to the audio version of this, you can catch us over there. First off, I was dedicated with the difficult task of summarizing Kanye's very quick demise and spiral. So, see if I can pull this off.
Right,
Raza.
yeah.
Okay? Okay,
Fine.
cheer me on.
1,
Cheer me on.
2, 3, 4.
Wow, so we're a bit late, but so much has happened. It's almost like it's better for us because I can summarize it all in one go. First off, I don't know if you know, but Kanye officially changed his name by LA Judge earlier this month. So he's now the artist formerly known as Kanye, or just Ye. Now, showing up to Fashion Week a little wild, he's greatly outshined the fact that it was actually his first modeling debut, but he did so much like borderline, super problematic stuff while he was there that broke down. Look at images of him looking all beat up, which was probably makeup, wearing the Balenciaga like face guard that he's not going to be allowed to wear anymore because they dropped him. What was made even wilder is he made an offensive statement wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt. Not only that, while he was doing it, he had Candace Owens with her hand in his back pocket, hanging out like she may be whispering ideas in his ear. So, to top this all off, he swiftly decimated his career by claiming and reinforcing the tweet in which he claimed that he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish culture when he woke up in the morning. Appearing shortly after that on the Drink Champs podcast with OG rap artist Noriega, he was then proceeded to smoke marijuanas and take his henny shots. Well, he echoed hate speech that you could find in 1937 Germany. So honestly, it's so gnarly, some of the things that he said. I would recommend you go Google it yourself because I'm not putting it in any one of these videos. And I mean, when we're talking about Halloween horrors, I think you can call this one of them. So, Raza, when we're talking about that, I really butchered that 1-minute summary, so I'm going to have to do some superstar editing. I got to make those shorter. I wrote too many points, fam. I got to make like 4 of those. Way too many points. But when we're talking about Kanye, I wanted to talk about how like a bastion of anti-hate can like this guy was standing up for not hating on homosexual people, like progressive policies back in the day. And you can go so far down a tunnel of like subjective opinions and thoughts and fame and wealth that you can end up using that same hateful language that you used to fight against other people. It like really fucks me up about the scenario. And have you seen that anywhere else?
Yeah, with him specifically, or just
either or?
General?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen it with anybody because like he's like the biggest name that it's happening to. So I find that like he's easily swayed with all of his like he's easily manipulated. So like a lot of the stuff like the podcast that one you mentioned that I saw with you. A lot of the stuff he was regurgitating talking points, like you could hear Candace Owens in there. You could hear the Ben Shapiro's. You could hear all that. All right. So I think he's just taken astray unfortunately. Like he's taken astray off of his whatever path he was going on, and then without like because I know he has some like issues. I understand that, and that, but that doesn't excuse his behavior at the same time. So I think for him, it's a bigger deal because a lot of black people like look up to him, right? As like
Yeah.
as a as a as a figurehead. So I think if anybody else does it in his community, it won't be as big because Kanye West is an icon, right? Right?
Yeah, I think Kanye did these actions because he has done them similar things by like meeting with Trump and putting on the hat, right? Like these are
Yeah.
things that I think he's basing like, oh, I can get canceled, I can do what I want, and I'll still be accepted here. But then I'm also talking as like an outside white person, and I need to be careful about my words, right? Of choosing
Yeah.
who can be accepted by any community. But I would say that he's relying on the fact that he'll always be accepted by some form because of his artistry, at the very least. And
Um, yeah.
bruh, look at how much money you're losing, and without
Yeah,
that
and
infrastructure, that fame isn't gonna carry you along all that long, you know?
yeah, and then yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's a very complicated thing, and like I don't like I'm not well in tune. But all I know is that like he's talking to the wrong people. He's socializing with the wrong people. That's ultimately what it is. Uh, but it's on him to understand what's right and wrong. That's what I think. But again, I don't
So
know
then,
how his head works.
so then the
It's not.
last scripted question I have here, the last scripted one I'll bring up is
Boy.
then
Oh boy.
saying that is when you have influencers from all sides of the spectrum, even say
Yeah.
Noriega having him on the show, right?
Yeah.
You've got people there giving a guy ideas who is very powerful but also very erratic and not always stable. Is it like victimizing for someone to be utilizing an unwell person for their own agendas?
Yeah, I guess so because because I think when they start to because Cannon's Owens when like after she put up or after that picture went up, Candace Owens, all those people started attacking Kim Kardashian because Kanye was doing that. So they like latch onto his sort of issues to make themselves sort of relevant. So I don't know if it's like. I don't know. It's like a very complicated and very tricky situation. We're on the outside looking in. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes, right? So it's like
Hmm.
very much speculative of what we're saying, but there's something bad going on. But I don't know. It's just yeah. I don't want to speak on behalf of things I don't know about.
Raza's turn. All right.
Hey guys, you ready for some not troubling news? Some actually kind of troubling news. It depends on how you look at it. So, are y'all familiar with the company Tencent? Well, if you aren't, they made Call of Duty Mobile, Apex Mobile, and all the mobile versions of your favorite shooters. Well, the reason why they're in the news is because they have lost a massive market share of what they used to be and are now worth less than a local wine company in China. Last year, this time around last year, they were trading at $50 to $90 in value of stock, which made them one of the most profitable companies in the world. Since then, Tencent has lost $650 or $650 billion of market cap, and the reason why is China's tech crackdown. China is approving games and whatnot. Last or this past year, they just approved 200 games, which is 700 less than what they did last year in 2021. Um, this has forced this has forced Tencent to downsize, causing massive layoffs across the board in all departments, and in turn make them the reason why they're buying shares in Riot, Ubisoft, EA, all the things because they can't make money at home. So when they do it abroad, they're actually kind of making that money back, but at the same time, not really because we don't play much mobile games as the people in China do. For example, and this is they've hit a 5-year low. Which makes it like unprecedented for any sort of company. The tech, and it's not just Tencent, it's also TikTok and other tech companies because the government is now looking at all of these companies to seeing what type of information they're putting out, what type of content they're 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 putting out, and that is my summary point. Uh, so my talking points are now. Let me take over for a brief
Smooth,
second.
smooth transition.
Smooth to the transition. Since Call of Duty and mobile and PUBG Mobile make a lot of money, would it make more sense for Tencent to leave China and go somewhere else, but at the same time, they will have to deal with competitors out there and also the different gaming culture. Will it be harder or easier for them to compete directly, Bailey?
I think much harder because now you're going to have to deal with government imposed restrictions. Like, and no
Mhm,
matter what, it will at least
mhm.
make the exchange of data for development much more complicated and extensive because we'll have to be overseen by some sort of monitoring body. Would I not assume that?
You are right. Absolutely right. Absolutely. 10 points for no, that's actually literally how it is. And also on top of that, do you think it'll impact the performance of these games? So there's like a skeleton crew now working because they're downsizing.
Oh.
Now there's less people working on these games. Do you think these games will suffer more because there's like going to be less patches, less bug fixes, less content uh com com coming out? Is
Mhm.
that Do you think that's going to
I
happen?
think so. Yes, it's a medium because the Chinese government does have a massive infrastructure for like server bandwidth and all that stuff. So some of these games may still run functionally okay, but definitely when
Hmm.
you're talking patches and I was even a dork. I played COD Mobile for a little bit, and when I played
Hmm.
COD Mobile, it was
Hmm.
so sloppy how they ran the tournaments and shit. The communication was
Right.
sporadic. It was already not a
Hmm.
very well organized customer service base. So I wouldn't be surprised if that shit just went left because Tencent runs and owns so many live service games. Like that's a Google for the fucking audience if you ever want to do one.
Hmm. Hmm. And just to go back to a point, I just want to put this whole thing in perspective for you guys. That wine company, that rice wine company I brought up earlier, has a 235 million dollar lead on Tencent, making it more valuable than Tencent. These new tech policies are hurt. China also has consumer policies that actually help the consumer industry. So if the wine industry and the food industry and all that are benefiting from those policies. Which my next question: should Tencent pivot to another industry in order to make some money back?
I think that's very difficult, and I think it's almost impossible. Maybe you can to back. They already do a lot of background development support, but then if you
Hmm.
don't have the staff for that, then that's very
Right,
incredibly difficult.
right,
So
right.
I think the idea of like shifting to a different niche is almost impossible with those cutbacks. And then
Hmm.
even further, I am not putting it specifically to China or whatever political leaning, but if you're having a
Hmm.
body already monitoring you saying you need to cut it back, I'm sure they also won't be happy if you're saying, by the way, here's my new product.
Right, right, right. And like, yeah, because TikTok was gonna jump into the gaming world. They were gonna put like bite-sized games out and then grow from there. They're gonna put some mid-tier games to high-level games, but because of this policy, they can't do it. And also because they had to downsize their gaming development as well. TikTok, because TikTok already was cementing that in China at first and then going. outside, but now now they can't. Keep on.
Oh no, that was good. You killed it. You killed it. Production killed it. So kids, also if you're listening to this, like these talks, not only can you hang out with us after we do this recording, if you tune into the live stream, we hang out, chat with you all after. And we have all of the sources that we are using for this information listed in the description of this episode. So feel free, go through, check that out. We're being good journalists here, good little boys. Now, we've got another ad slot. We'll be right back. We're throwing you to an ad, and we're going to come back with the new segment. All right. Be right back. I guarantee that they have rating systems.
I think some high school stuff. Yeah.
Guarantee it.
That's like some like, oh, which of your friends has the biggest dong? It wouldn't be me.
I didn't do that.
It wouldn't be me.
I didn't have those kinds of charts, Raza.
I would always lose.
That's good to know.
That's right. You gotta look the part, dress the part, sound the part, and just be the part because you'll always be doing something. Because you're a multifaceted artiste in the Korean pop music industry.
But we'll go down this rabbit hole another time because that world just won't make sense until we give you way more context on this topic. I guarantee that they have rating systems. Our new segment, this one, we don't have filled yet, but we're going to do another slight promo for you here. You just saw we did these news segments. We picked out stories that we liked, that we want to share with you, and that we're hoping that you might find on the interwebs. Even the chat here. What we want to do a submitted news section. We want to clip these bits, and we want you guys to participate in the madness with us and let us apply our skills to a story of your choosing. Right? If you've been around a while, you may remember our news roundups where we were doing like the quick 10-minute things, or we were trying to compile a bunch of stories in one. And we liked making it, but we were old heads. It's just not a type of YouTube video people are watching anymore. So we're hoping this way we can interact with you guys a bit more and have fun looking up some things that we don't know anything about. It will definitely expand our minds a bit, that's for sure.
Exactly.
So we will take submissions via email, DM. You can comment here and stream, hang out in the Let's Chat afterwards, or even just like drop in on the TikToks. We're going to be watching all that. We're still pretty grassroots, so we'll see it.
We're all about
Raza.
community-driven experience.
Bingo. So if you like what we're creating...
Horror movies, uncomfortable.
Yeah, you could give us horror movie things to look up. I'd definitely look up horror movie things. I'm with it. But, so thank you if you're listening to the recorded version of this. We appreciate you. We're gonna drop into the outro now, but thank you. This is the end of our fake segment.
Quick Bailey, just to round it off. What's your favorite TV show that has a Halloween theme?
Oh, I still wanted to do this part either way. My favorite TV show that has a Halloween theme. That's a tough one. I'm thinking old Disney. I'm looking at like Recess. I'm thinking. But I don't have it memorized well, so then I'm also feeling like I'm fronting. So I'm trying to go with one that's vivid in my mind, and I just keep thinking of Moira the Vampire.
Where's that from?
It was like on YTV as a kid. It was a weird one.
Oh.
Courage the Cowardly Dog is a good one as well. Shout out
Courage
to
the Dog. Yeah. Mine, even though you didn't ask it, mine is all the Brooklyn Nine-Nine ones.
all the Brooklyn Nine ones ever.
Yeah, all of them are like, because it's all like they're all connected. It's all about stealing an item from either Jake or what's his face, Holt.
Oh, true. Yes, I forgot that there were a series of them.
Yeah, those ones are pretty cool. But also, recap.
I do always remember the first season of Communities one because it had the Ovid as Batman in the first one.
Yeah, those were good too. And then the one where they get like food poisoning and they pretend it's zombies.
Yes. Yeah.
That was so jokes. Yeah. There's there's a Community movie now. It's being made.
I'm medium on it. I'm medium.
Know.
Is Chevy Chase in it? Is Chevy Chase in it?
No. They can't bring him because Chevy Chase will kill everybody on set. He's like and he's mad at the crew.
Oh God. Okay, good. I'm
Yeah.
happy though. He's not. He's a party pooper. I didn't like his
was
humor
good, though.
additions.
His humor was good though. I like during the first 2 seasons, it was pretty jokes, but it was during that time of TV where it wasn't this like, whatever, you know.
Yeah, and it was only at the beginning though. I didn't mind the fact that he was a little raunchy or a little rude. I'm not complaining about that,
Yeah.
but his jokes got too old guy-y versus rude. You know.
Wasn't that the point though?
I guess. Is it? I don't know. Let's ask Dan Harmon next week on next week's episode. We asked Dan Harmon directly.
Don't tell fucking chat that are like the guests coming on next week. All right, guys. Jesus Christ.
So thanks for coming in, kids. We got one last thing for you. We didn't want to get rid of this relic because Raza's a Twitter god, and this is just funsies. We got the tweet of the week for you. This is the thing we're gonna do before we sign off. Still every week. He pulled off a very rare sighting. It's on screen now. If I may describe it, he has provided me Jack Nicholson as Gandalf.
Dude, Wine Mom would be, and Billy Crystal is directing him. By the way, I mentioned
Yes.
that.
So if you want to Google that, Google Billy Crystal, Jack Nicholson, Gandalf. Fairly epic.
And Wine Mom would be losing her collective mind if she saw this picture. Yeah.
Clip this, send it to Wine Mom.
Yeah. I mean, can we get... Does she have internet in the Batcave?
I don't know. The Batcave... Oh, it's tricky. We could drop it in the Discord like a bat signal and see if she appears.
Yeah, like a bat signal and then Wine Mom...
By the way, guys, Wine Mom went out for Milk and Bogies as our intro said. She'll be back whenever. You'll see her in the beginning talking points, and if she feels like, maybe we'll have her bring a new story as well. Either way, guys, we don't have a commercial right now because I didn't want to pull 3 of our own commercials, but if we had an ad sponsor, we might be able to slide another one at the end here. But getting the old outro for now. If you want to, Raza, give him the subscription rants because I don't have one right now before we go to Let's Chat.
Yeah, fucking hit us up on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. Our link tree is there. I'm playing Alien Isolation, having a great time shitting myself, by the way. Scary fucking game. It's giving. And like and subscribe. Our other stuff, we have video essays now. So that's a thing. And then
coming out
Bayley
Thursday.
Coming out Thursday, and also, bro, our TikTok is popping, B. It's popping. The fact that you're not on there right now goes to show that you don't care about us. The fact that you're not out there repping us 24/7, right, Bayley?
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's not popping, but I'm very content. Very content with our content.
You have to oversell yourself.
Please purchase our wares.